Well, welcome back, everybody, to Music Talk with Dave and Mike. I'm Dave.
I'm Mike.
And this week, we are going to do a review on the new, well, it's not really new, but the latest Cheap Trick, and it's called In Another World.
Yeah, it
You
was
know,
just
some,
released in April.
yeah,
So, yeah.
some people are giving it flack about the cover, man, but I kind of like the CD cover, man.
Well, that's a throwback to Rick Nielsen. He's
Yeah,
got that checkerboard guitar. You
right.
know.
I think it's pretty neat. I mean, it's typical cheap trick. If you think cheap trick, this fits perfect, and then they give you the world, you know. So I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah, it's,
Inside, you got the same checker flag. It probably messed with your eyes a little bit on here.
yeah.
One thing I don't like about it, it's the same thing that ACDC did, and you gotta reach in here on the inside like that to get it. So you rip your cover trying to get the CD out. I don't like that, but anyway. Got a picture of the band right here.
There you go.
And the back's pretty good. It's got the white lettering. You can read the tracks. Picture of the band again. It's pretty cool. And then CD cover or the CD looks like that, you know. And you get this nice little booklet. It's pretty good book. It's got all the words in it. You got some pictures there, live stuff. Got the 5-neck guitar there. You gotta have that in there, right?
Yep.
So it's pretty interesting. It's a pretty good book here. I mean, it doesn't really go into a whole lot of detail, but you do get the list of everybody that's on it and you know who wrote what. So that's pretty cool. So this one, it's got a good sound on it, man. The producer Julian Raymond, I thought he did a good job on the production. Um, are you familiar with Julian Raymond at all?
No, producer wise, I mean, I've been out of the loop on who producers were for quite a while. You know.
Well, he's worked with people like Insane Clown Posse.
Okay.
Uh, he's done some stuff for Fastball, Fleetwood Mac.
Yeah.
He also did some Cottonmouth Kings and Jennifer Nettles of Sugarland.
Yeah.
So, but the thing that I did not realize was he was the executive producer for the Glenn Campbell movie, the one called "I'll Be Me." You know, the documentary about his Alzheimer's. That
Yeah.
came out back in like I want to say 2015, 2014 range. And
Somewhere.
he co-wrote the song I'm Not Gonna Miss You. So he won some Grammys for that. But I didn't know he was the executive producer of the movie.
Right.
I read
Right.
up on there. So and I think he did a good job on this, you know. I feel like everything sounded good.
I have no complaints about production or mix or anything. I mean, actually, I enjoyed the whole album.
Yeah.
Uh, there's not one track on here that I felt like skipping through or anything.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
It's
they
pretty
did
quick
change it up a
album
little
too.
bit. They did change. There are a lot of little cliche things that they threw in there that you really got to listen for. You know, the party for one sounds a lot like Hendrix. You
Yeah.
know, Final Days. I could see ZZ Top doing that. You know, it's along the Blue Jean Blues.
Yeah.
Type. So it goes, the acoustic ballad. I really like that. I saw a lot of references in other reviews to the Beatles, and I can hear that.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't set out to listen for any Beatles type stuff.
Hey, you
But
didn't
it
have
is
to.
there. It is there.
You didn't have to because it's pretty prominent throughout the whole record, really.
Right.
Uh,
Well, I mean, Cheap Trick. That's pretty much what they fashioned themselves around was the Beatles, four-piece band. You know?
yeah. Well, we'll run through them real quick. The first one, "Summer Looks Good on You," is the opener, and you know it's got a really good guitar riff. It's like a happy, feel good song. I mean,
Yep.
summertime. You put this song on, you roll the windows down, and you're rolling, man. You know, it's a good, happy song. Then you
Yep.
got "Quit Waking Me Up." That kind of reminded me of like a poppy sounding '60s
Mhm.
song. You know, it had that same feel about it. Little horn section going on in there.
Yeah.
Um, And then the third song, "Another World," it kind of reminded me of a John Lennon a little bit there. It was a
Yeah. A little bit.
slower
A little
song, but it felt like a John Lennon song to me,
bit.
which I
Mhm.
thought was cool.
Yep.
Um, then you got "Boys and Girls and Rock and Roll." And this song, man, I thought Mick Jagger was guest singing on it a little bit. It reminded me of the Rolling Stones a lot.
Yeah.
You know, the vocal work for sure. But then
Mhm.
there's this one part in there, and it took me 2 days to figure out where Rick Nielsen got it from. And he got it from the Police on their Synchronicity 2 song. When he does the verse, he does the it's the exact same thing the Police do on Synchronicity 2.
Huh.
You know, when Sting says it's just another suburban morning, and then Andy Summers does the it's
Huh.
exactly the same thing that Rick
Wow.
Nielsen does, and it's on every time he sings, he does it. So it took me a
Yeah.
couple days because I was like, man, I know that riff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Still a good song. I mean, I really liked it.
Yep.
And then, like you said, number 5, the party. That was straight crosstown traffic at the beginning.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yep. But
Yeah.
then, I mean, it's a great rocking song, though. I mean, only just the beginning kind of reminded me of it. Even did like the vocal thing almost, the doo 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 doo, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. And but once they got into it, it was definitely their song. It
Yeah.
wasn't.
And
It
it's
wasn't.
straight up a great rocking song, man.
Yeah.
I really
Yeah.
like that one.
Yeah.
And Final Days, I got quite a bit to talk about that one. That's the blues rock one.
Yep.
And I'm gonna go back to that because I got a whole list of stuff to talk about on that song. That was number 6. Number 7 is So It Goes. That's what you're talking about, the slow ballad.
Yep. Mhm.
Now,
That was
it
a Paul
reminded me,
McCartney type.
I
Type.
actually thought it sounded more like Harrison.
Really, I
Yeah,
was more of, yeah, I could see that. I was kind of more relating it to a McCartney-ish type acoustic,
mhm.
you know.
Well, there's a couple things that he does uh, in the chorus that reminded me of a Billy Joel song too.
Yeah. Yeah.
And because he even when Billy Joel does that one voice, it's Robin Zander sounded just like that.
Hmm.
I mean, I'm not saying he's trying to copy him. I know everybody's going to say, you guys are always talking about how somebody sounds like somebody. And I'm not trying to say he sounds like him. I'm saying you can hear that
Right.
in there, you know. And did you think that that was a bass solo in there? It sounded like the 12 string was doing the solo, the 12 string bass.
I thought about that too, and I mean, it would only make sense that they would go ahead and let Tom have an area to call his own, a little corner of the album that.
Well, I kind of listened to it closely. At first, I thought it was just Rick Nielsen playing low register on the guitar, but then when you listen to it, it sounds like he's playing it on the 12 string bass.
Mhm.
That's what it sounded like to me, which I liked.
Yeah.
Thought that was really cool. Um,
That's their that's that's their patent sound though, that 12 string bass. That's what
it
gives
is.
that full sound.
Mm-hmm. I
Mhm.
know. Which kind of, I would think it would be very hard to play that thing. I don't know. I'll have to play one day to see. I don't have one over there. I might need to put one in that slot that's got an empty hole right there.
Mhm. Well,
And get me a 12 string bass.
we can go get a 2x4 and nail it to one of those bodies and put 12 strings on it.
Yeah, that thing looks heavy, man. It's some kind of Gretsch, and it looks heavy.
Yeah, yeah,
It's like a white falcon or something. I don't know. So then we get to Light Up the Fire. Man, that one straight up rocks, man.
yeah, yeah.
That one kicks butt. I really like that one. And then you got Passing Through, number 9. It's kind of a semi-slow song. It's got really good bass line in that one too. Really
Hmm.
like the bass. And then number 10, Here's Looking at You. That's a typical Cheap Trick.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
that's Dream Police.
exactly. I mean, it's reminded me of all their stuff in the 70s. And
Exactly. Yeah, yeah. And I'm glad they do it. I'm glad they're still yanking that out there.
yeah, I
Mhm.
was glad to hear that because it's really of course they all sound like Cheap Trick, but of all the songs, that one reminded me the most of what you would expect Cheap Trick to sound like. You
Right,
know?
right, right.
Then number 11, which I hate this about bands sometimes, but number 11 is Another World Reprise. Exact same song, just sped up with a faster beat.
Yeah.
It kind of had a, I don't know. I like the slower version better
And I
myself.
think sometimes they do things like that, like in this instance here, because I don't think this is really what you could say a theme album,
Hmm.
but I'm sure this was one of the takes in the studio that they
Yeah,
sat
they probably did it
to,
twice. Yeah.
and they're like, well, I don't know. Let's toss a coin. Which one? Well, let's just put both of them on
Yeah, just put them both on there. Yeah.
and
But
see
I
which.
kind of favor the slower one myself.
I do too,
Yeah.
because it's a change of pace.
Yeah. And then you get number 12, I'll See You Again. That was another slow one. The
Yeah.
strings were pretty nice in there. It kind of reminded me a little bit of Bruce Springsteen's Philadelphia, the sound
Yeah.
of it,
Yep.
you know.
Yep. Kind of. Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I mean, I didn't really give it a lot of thought as to who it sounded like. I
I
was
mean,
just
yeah,
glad.
the song didn't sound like it, but just the strings, it's whatever they were using, the keys or whatever, it was the
Right.
same sound that he had on Philadelphia. And then of course 13, Give Me Some Truth is a John Lennon song.
Yes.
So,
And
which brings us back to all the Beatles sounding.
less stuff. Yeah.
And
And
all in all, man, I mean, I was really impressed of the musicianship of the
oh yeah.
record.
Oh yeah.
I think Tom and Rick both nailed it. I mean, Rick really was rolling. He was rocking on the guitar.
Oh yeah.
And as much as I liked Bunny with the band, I think Dax did a very good job. I
Mm.
think he sounded like a Cheap Trick drummer.
Oh
You know,
yeah. Yeah.
it wasn't like, okay, Rick's son's gonna play drums and it's gonna be Cheap Trick with Rick's son playing drums. I feel like he sounded like what a Cheap Trick drummer should sound like. It wasn't anything different that you would say, oh my God, we need the other drummer back. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, the thing that I liked about it, and this is the thing I liked about earlier Cheap Trick stuff, you don't hear a lot of the the double bass sounding riffs and things like that. It's all
Right.
simple in the pocket riffs,
Yep.
uh, and nothing overcomplicated. It just naturally leads the songs into their next changes and stuff, and
Yep.
that's what it's all about, just being a pocket drummer.
Yep.
Yeah,
And again, I feel like they did a good job of not making them sound the same on every song too.
right.
I mean,
Yeah, I agree with that too.
especially the last song, the John Lennon one, "Give Me Some Truth." I
Hmm.
love the way it started out. That hi hat ringing like it was,
Right, right.
and that sounded really good. I was really happy about the sound of that,
Yep, yep.
and they did a great job on it too. I mean, overall, I mean, I think it's a really good record. The more I listened to it, the higher my score went. You know,
Yeah. Well,
uh,
it grows on you. I've listened to it about a half dozen times this week,
yeah,
and my wife both. She's like, I really like this album. So
yeah.
me, I'm gonna go ahead probably buy a vinyl version of it. You
Well,
know.
Amazon kind of screwed me on this one because when I bought it, a lot of times when I buy them, they upload into my account, and I can listen to them on my phone or wherever I got my Amazon Prime Music. But
Right.
this one, they didn't do it. They didn't upload it.
Huh.
I don't know. I don't know why they didn't, but just about every CD, there's like a handful that I bought over all these years that they don't upload, and that was one of them. So, I had to carry the CD everywhere to hear it,
Yeah.
or unless y'all want to go watch it on YouTube for free, which I hate to do that because I want to support the band. But so anyway, I want to go back to Final Days, and that's the one you were talking about. You thought ZZ Top would sound good doing, or it sounded like a ZZ Top thing,
Yep.
and it was the 4/4 blues rock had the driving beat, but the guy playing the harmonica is Jimmy Hall
Yeah. From Wet
from Wet
Willie.
Willie. Yeah, and did you know? And I'm really going to talk about Jimmy Hall a little bit, but did you know that he sang on Jeff Beck's Flash album?
No, but I wouldn't put anything past
That
that era, that that heyday of music.
Yeah, that was like 85-ish. That was the same album that he did People Get Ready that Rod Stewart sang.
Right.
But he had a video out called Ambitious, and Jimmy Hall sang on that. That was him singing.
Hmm.
The video, so I went back and watched the video. It is the greatest. It is so funny. It's Jeff Beck, and he's like auditioning singers, is what it's like. And all
Uh,
these people are coming in there, and it has Donny Osmond, Parker Stevenson, Cheech is in it. Marilyn McCoo, John Butcher Axis. It was so funny, man. And Donnie Osmond comes up there, and they're like, "So, what have you done lately?" He goes, "Well, I've sung with some of my brothers, and then me and this chick named Marie had a show or something like that."
Yeah, yeah.
But it was pretty funny, and they're like, "Yeah, whatever, just go on to the back." And then at the end, Herb Alpert walks up with his horn, and he's like, "Did I make it in time? Did I make it?" And the song was over. So it was pretty funny, and I just thought that was cool because when I was looking up Jimmy Hall, I didn't
Yeah,
realize that he had done so much. He's done a lot of stuff, actually.
yeah. Jimmy Hall, a killer harmonica player.
Yeah, yeah. I didn't realize it was the same guy from Wet Willie. So,
Yeah,
but I
yeah.
love that song because I love the way they trade off with the guitar and the harmonica, and they could have gone on another 3 minutes, and I would have enjoyed it. You
Yeah,
know.
yeah. I mean, they to me, and again, I'm going to say this: this album put together very well. I like the way they lined the music up.
Mhm.
All falls into place. A lot of cliches type of tributes
Mhm.
per se,
Yeah.
and Rob and Xander, of course, he's got his little sarcasm that goes on with his lyrics, and I think it's pretty cool. You have to listen to it.
Right.
Almost it's almost along the lines of Steely Danish, type logic of writing lyrics almost. I mean,
Right.
it makes you think. If you're really listening to the song, it's going to make you think a lot about what did he just say.
Yeah, yeah. You definitely catch things in there. And I mean, they all wrote all the songs, and they actually had, the producer help write some too,
Yeah,
with
yeah,
the exception of the John Lennon song. But
yeah.
they
Give
all
it
had a
some
hand
credit.
in writing all these. So,
Yeah,
and to me, I mean, over the years, I think, I don't know. I just feel like this is like some of the best Cheap Trick we've heard since the 70s.
yeah.
To
Well,
me.
it's just like what we were talking about with the last Styx album, for example, with Kevin. You know, his stuff picked right up to where Styx left off, and
Hmm.
I think Styx themselves have forgotten about that.
You mean Dennis? Yeah.
I mean Dennis DeYoung, yeah, not
Yeah.
Kevin. Thinking of Kevin Cronin.
From REO, right? Right.
but but yeah, I mean, and to me that's what Cheap Trick has done. They picked up right where Dream Police left off.
Yeah, this is like the Missing 70s album, right?
Well, the AC/DC, same thing. They picked up
Yeah.
right where Back in Black left off. It's like, and I'm
Yeah.
glad these bands are jumping back to these prime eras of their sound. I
Right.
mean, this is again fresh. I
Yeah.
mean, compared to what's out there, it's not shoegaze. I'm gonna tell you that it's not that shoegaze music, and I don't
No.
know what a lot of the stuff that's coming out is called anymore.
And the funny thing too is when I was listening to Rick and Tom in an interview, and they don't really talk much about the record. It's funny. I mean, they just talk, but there's not a lot about this new record. But they did say when they went into the studio, and it was done at two different ones in Nashville, Blackbird and Love Shack, and then it looks like they did some stuff down in Florida as well.
I think
But
Love Shack wasn't that originally the B-52 studio?
could be, maybe. I just
No,
know that they did at Blackbird and Love Shack, and then Rick did some stuff up in Rockford, where
yeah,
he's
Doc
from,
and I
up in
went to
Illinois.
Blackbird. Rick, Doc, and I went to Blackbird studio. We had to pick up a DAC player. He had that had some hours on it, so he could redo something that he had. You
Yeah,
know, it was kind of neat going in there. It's like,
yeah. But the funny thing is, they walked in and they were all like, "Well, what kind of effects are y'all using?" And Tom and Rick look at each other and like, "We don't use effects." It was like,
mm,
"I mean, you don't use any pedals at all?" And Rick says, "Well, I mean, I use a wah pedal every now and then. Does that count?" And he's like, "No." He's like, "You don't have any pedals at all?" He's like, "No, we just rely on our amps. That's
yeah.
where we get our sound."
Mhm.
He was talking about he bought the very first orange amp sold in America when it came out. So
Right, right.
I thought that was pretty cool. I mean, that's why you get this sound because I mean that's them. It's all them.
Well,
It's
one
not
thing,
any digital stuff going on. There's no effects. I mean, they have some on the vocals, obviously, because Robin's voice isn't quite what it used to be, but it's still good.
he's,
You know?
yeah, I didn't really miss a thing with Robin's voice, and they use the same effects on him today that they used on him back in the day, and it's the same
Exactly.
effects. It's the same effects that they use on Robert Plant.
Hmm.
Beatles emulated that effect with both Paul and John singing at the same time, getting a doubling effect.
Exactly.
And then when things got a little bit more advanced, they were able to go back in and layer vocals on top of each other and wind up with the doubling effect that way.
Yeah.
And yeah, but other than that, I mean, there's no auto tune. I'm gonna tell you that. I didn't
No,
hear.
none whatsoever. And I
Yeah,
mean,
thank God. I'm gonna
yeah,
drop Rick the line on that one. There was no auto tune on this.
no auto tune. Exactly. That is definitely a Rick Beato.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love that show he's got on that.
Yeah. Well, he talks about that. What's that guy that did Are You Gonna Go My Way? Lenny Kravitz.
Yeah, there you go.
But Rick Beato talking about the first time he heard Are You Gonna Go My Way? And he could tell it was auto tuned because how perfect the backups were. And he
Right.
actually has a video showing how they do it. I don't know if
Mhm.
you've seen that, but
Uh,
yeah, I just like it when people just get in the studio and do it. And it sounds like that's what they did here. They went in the studio, they rocked it. This was all done before COVID too, so they were together when they
yeah,
did
that
it.
was the one. That was the one thing that on the Railroad X demo that Doc and I put together with our other cohorts there in Nashville. Um, the Song Farm was the name of the studio. Jay Palmer was the owner, and he was the bass player for us. And we did the demo, and then all of a sudden, when we come back with the finished product, Jay had gone in there and laid these background vocals down. And he used the auto tune, and it was his
Mhm.
voice, and everything was just like cut so perfect. It was like it was
Too
just,
too too
and
processed.
it just ruined the whole demo for me. It's
Right.
like,
Yeah. It doesn't sound live anymore. Yeah.
no, it's like, just come on, man, why'd you do that?
I
Just
know.
should have left that stuff alone, man.
Crazy.
But
All
auto
right.
stick it.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't like it either. I'd just rather find somebody that can sing. Now I need auto tune because I cannot sing at
Yeah,
all, which I don't even attempt to. So I don't want to use auto tune.
I'd rather stand in the background and just move my mouth and not say anything.
That's exactly right. I'll hire a singer. You know. All right. Well, we'll wrap this up real quick. Cheap Trick in Another World. It's a good record. That's the inside sleeve. There's the cover. It's got the checkered flag.
Yep.
I'm giving it a 7-8 for me. I
I'm gonna,
liked it, but
I'm, I'm gonna go with an 8.
I'm going 8 on this one.
Yeah, I'm gonna go 8 on it because I just really like it. I'm a sucker for the classic sounds.
It's a fun record.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean, you
I
you can
have,
throw this on when you have some people over and partying. It's a good one, you know.
right.
All right, well, that's it for this week. Cheap Trick in Another World. I gave it a 7-8. Mike gave it an 8.0. And until next time, y'all be safe.
Peace out. Listen to the music.